Hello everyone, this is a tribute to a national Kurdish hero who was my personal hero. Last year, this time, I had the opportunity to spend some time with my father who passed away in January of 2022 peacefully, surrounded by his family and friends and all of the people who loved him. It had a deep impact in my life, and I wanted to tell you through the art of storytelling how you can take some of the advice that I have learned, apply it to your life to make it much better. I come from a Kurdish family in northwest Iran, the most strategic, politically magnetized area perhaps in the world, on the border of Iran, Iraq, and Turkey. That's where I was born. That's where my father decided to build his legacy. You see, when he was 7 years old, his father was assassinated. So he took the responsibility of the family at a very young age. 6 sisters, 3 brothers, and he was responsible for all of them at the age of 7. Yet, having no resources, my father proceeded to educate himself. As a matter of fact, he was one of the first educated people in the region. Therefore, he transferred this wisdom into children, his children. Me, my 7 sisters and 2 brothers were lucky to have a great education because our father always pushed us forward. I was born in a place of magic and wonder that will always stay with me. My family surrounded by a loving grandmother and all of the sisters, brothers, and the people in our community. Life used to be simpler back then. Even with no resources, you could get the collaboration of others and help build up a great life for yourself. So I grew up in such an environment with my father always being on the go, always being on the service of his people. So when he passed away last year, he left a will of testament. Imagine sitting down, writing something that you know that's going to be read after you have passed on. The things that were in that letter are such important for myself, for the Kurdish friends all over the world, Iranians who are right now struggling through all of this challenges that are going on, and anybody who really wants to personally help build up their lives to a better level. You see, when I was at the age of 10, my jaw was broken in the war, so I spent about 2 years with my father in the hospital to repair my broken jaw. And once it was all finished, I transferred to Tehran because he was being exiled for a 15-year period where he couldn't spend time with his family, with his friends, and with the people that he loved and loved him most. So we used this time that was in Tehran as a metamorphosis. Imagine a small child with my father, just like, you know, the movie In Pursuit of Happiness. It was me and my papa in the streets looking for a place where we can rest up and we can reorganize, and how do we spend the next 15 years in this exile. I was lucky enough to find my way through school, and 2 years of struggle. I was the ridicule of everybody. I didn't have the right accent. I didn't have the right background. My jaw was broken. It was the toughest years of my life as a child, having no mother, no sisters around me, just me and my father. But I persevered through that. My father was very big on education, as I said, and he said, son, if you just stay focused for the next few years, you're going to build up a life that's going to last you for a lifetime. So I started to study. I used to wake up with him in morning prayer, probably at 5:30 a.m. to study very hard to apply for the medical school in Tehran. I was lucky back in 1991 to be one of the 2 million people who applied to higher education in Iran, and only 150,000 would be accepted. I was one of those lucky ones. Once they had done a little bit of analysis and found out my background, who I was, I got a letter of rejection that you're not allowed. even though you're a citizen of this country, you cannot study in our medical system or in our education system because of your father's activities during this time of crises. So I was let go, and I was let to go and join the army. I had a conversation with my father, who was my figure, who was my hero, and I said, this is the situation, Dad. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to live in a place where I'm being punished for the sins of my father, and my children will be punished for the things that I have done. So I decided to leave. I said, I'm going to take my journey elsewhere. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to study. I'm going to go to perhaps Canada and stay there and study in a country where I read a book about. When I was 13 years old, my brother handed me a book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. That book itself had a deep impact on my life. I started to listen, to put a map of Canada right in front of my bed. I started to visualize living in this place where equality was the basis for human rights. And I forgot about it because the war happened, and I applied to university. I wanted to stay in Iran and become a doctor. That didn't materialize either. So I left in desperation, didn't know where I was going. My first destination was Sweden. Through this journey, I always stayed in close communication with my father because his experience, because his leadership, because his passion for people always it was a lighting guide for me and in my life. So after going through 2, 3, 4 years of journey through Turkey, through a year in Germany, and then eventually in Sweden, I was never allowed to stay in any of those places until I came to Canada, where I found a home, where I found acceptance, where I found opportunity, where I found that this is the place that I can be replanted and flourish here. So for the last 30 years, I've had the pleasure of serving our Canadian community. The last few years have been very tough for many of you. Many of you, like myself, have lost their loved ones, some through COVID-19, some through other. So I developed in this journey a few passions that I want to also to tell you about. That was the last thing I discussed with my father, the 3 passions that I'm following. Number 1, his passion was the passion of education. I have guided my children and I have instructed them, just like my father did, that the education was the basis of improvement and opportunities for their life. Proud to say that my daughter is registered at the University of Western, and she's a psychologist and studying for psychology. And I told this to my father. I say, I did what you said, and I am teaching that to my children. I remember on the last day of his life, he called me up. I went downstairs. He said, I want you to take me and take a shower. We took a shower together. I dried him up, brought him back, put him on his bed, brought him a cup of milk and honey, and he drank, and he looked at me and he kissed me right here. He said, I love you, son. And then he went to rest. I went upstairs to my room. A couple hours later, I woke up to the screams of my sisters, who told me that my father was not feeling well. By the time I got downstairs, he was on his last breath. He looked in my eyes and he said, serve people, help people, respect and provide for your mother. Mothers are the basis of our societies. I respect all of that, and I wanted to take that and make it a mission. So education became the basis of rest of my life. And here in Toronto, Canada, I work with one of the greatest education institutes that is on the cutting edge of all technology. Trias Eastern College is a place where anybody can come and upgrade their home education or change direction or start a new career. I have the pleasure to be an education consultant with the company. The second passion that I developed while on this journey, and also going out and serving my father during the COVID-19 crisis, was immigration. The Canadian Immigration Ministries will bring in 1.5 million people within the next 3 years. And the numbers are not starting. This program started 100 years ago. They wanted to make sure that the Canadian population is reaching 100 millions. We're still at 40 million. We have a long way to go because this country is vast. It's wealthy, it's amazing, wonderful people, great opportunities, and we want to help contribute to the buildup of this country. So my second passion is immigration, and I wanted to help bring some people who qualify to serve here, just like the words of John F. Kennedy when he said, "Do not ask what your country can do for you, but do ask what you can do for your country." That was the same principle that my father in his own life used. The service of people became the basis of his life. When he passed away about a year ago, 10,000 people showed up to his funeral in snow up to my knees. It was an incredible journey. And I said, how can I live my life to have the same impact that my father did? Which leads me to my third passion, which is personal development, which is the service to people. You know, one of my mentors said, service to many leads to greatness. So I started this service company to help you, provide you with the personal development knowledge, wisdom, and guidance that can help you achieve all of your goals and dreams. I have been blessed to have spent the time that I did with my father, who was a national hero for all Kurds in Iran, Iraq, and Turkey. Everybody knows him. And when the news of his passing spread out, people started to flock into our home in Iran from Iraq, Iran, and Turkey, because he had such a deep impact, not with his money, but with his heart, with the kindness that he showed through the family that he raised and through the community that he built. His community people came and hugged me and kissed me and just praised his praises in the things that he had done to help them, to serve them, and that became the basis of my life. And I am here to provide you with opportunities in all those three areas. If you're watching this video, if you are a family and friend, I love to let you know that this is not a sad occasion. This is a celebration of a life of a man who had a deep impact on thousands of people. As a matter of fact, today people are still struggling because there are no leaders that can voice their opinion of the people and get them to the authorities to let them know that this is happening. So we're filling that gap. Number one, in area of education, as I mentioned, if you're in Toronto, you want to upgrade your education very quickly to a level where you can enter the market at your value, we can help you do that. If you're looking for immigration or your children want to come and study in Canada, I encourage you to get in touch with us because we have a team of lawyers that work with Immigration Canada that can help you. And it's a lengthy process. The sooner you get started, the sooner you will have results. In third area, if you're looking for somebody, a mentor, a coach, a teacher, somebody who based on real life experiences can you guide you, can help you in three different areas: in area of your health, in area of your relationship building or team building, and in the area of creating enough abundance and wealth that you and your family can benefit and have a comfortable life. I'm Arif Gilani. I wanted to thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you. This has been an emotional time. I wanted to give this tribute to my father, who was a national hero by many Kurdish nationals who knew him, who collaborated with him, and he helped him in the journey that he undertook. He was the first person to publish a Kurdish magazine in a country where not even able to speak Kurdish. As a matter of fact, he had a deep impact on the academic cultural buildup of the Kurdish people in Iran and Iraq and all over the world. And I'm looking forward to replacing and hoping that I can fill his shoes, that I can be a service to my community in Canada, to the nation that I came from, and from the country that I was born in, to help provide the services and opportunities that my father provided for his people, where right now the people of that 50 household village of Jarawa are spread out all over the world. Some of them are doctors and engineers, and some of them have become very prominent members of society. and I wanted just to make sure that I follow the same path. And I'm looking forward to helping you accomplish your dreams, your goals, and whatever it is that you like to do for the rest of your life. I'm Arif Gilani. Thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you very much.